How important is tracking the response of what you're doing? Like, how much importance do you place on tracking the success of what you're doing, inform what you do next? Is it a process of, this worked, I'll do more of that, or this didn't work, it failed, I'll give up? How much do you drill down to why it didn't work?
Does anyone want to answer that?
With me specifically, Temple is a really small business. There's 9 people that work there full time. 3 of them are brewers. So like there's literally only one other person that I can lean on when I don't know if something's working. And it's pretty, if it didn't work that time, I'm a little bit like, all right, can I look at correcting it and making it a bit better? Like this bicycle promotion, for example, we did that, like I said, with Reed Cycles, and we thought the key to it was like give away a more premium bicycle. So let's pair with a good builder, let's see what we can do. And that opportunity came up, so we did it, and the results were great, but we were like kind of shooting for something a bit better. So now I'm either gonna not do it in Victoria again, really focus interstate, or like, geez, I don't know. I'm a little bit torn about it. So the promo worked, but I don't want to kill it. Like I don't want to overdo it. So for me, if I don't see a result pretty quickly, or some hope that something could change, I'm of the school of thought where you got to change it pretty quickly and try to do something else.
Is that on? Yeah. So when I'm doing like a social media post, like for Facebook, if I'm going to launch a new product, like a new design, I'll pick a specific element that I want to focus on. So if it's a time of the week, if I want to, post it on 5 o'clock on a Friday, or if I could do it, yeah. It is.
Yeah,
I found that out the hard way. It was the last day I tried. No, I'm kidding. I'll try and focus on something specific and change it up the next time that I do it. So normally if it's in a series of works, so if I'm doing a collection on Redbubble and it's pretty much the same thing, I'll try releasing an image one day every week at the same time and see which day of the week is most successful, and then I'll do it again for the next collection of works. And slowly you start to see little patterns. So the way I judge success is how many people it's reached, not whether they've liked it or commented on it or whatever the hell you do on Pinterest or Tumblr and all those sorts of things. Like, I just look at the numbers not just for one go, I'll do it multiple times. So it's something that I picked up from Redbubble, doing A/B testing and all that kind of stuff. There's method between the madness, but to me it's just about the reach, how many people from on a Facebook, specifically for Facebook. But if I'm looking at Instagram, it's how many people in the first 5 minutes I can get to like it. So I've got like different metrics. Sorry if that sounds a little, but that's what Redbubble has taught me by working here. So it's different for each different tool that I'm trying to use, absolutely. But when I say insanity, don't doing the same thing over and over again, that doesn't mean that I'm never going to use Facebook again, or I'm never going to try and upload a new design at the same time, at the same day. It's just, you might tweak it, like he was saying.
I'd probably just back that up. I think tweak it. Because we, like as an agency for our clients, we have to measure absolutely everything we do against something. Like maybe it was, what was the objective? Like, why did I do it in the first place? Was it to gain followers or sell a product or whatever? I think definitely measure, review it, but don't give up, because like in business or like working for yourself, sometimes it just doesn't work for reasons outside your control, maybe timing. So do it again and try, tweak it, different time of day, different time of the year, different elements.
I think it's the awareness as well. Like there are other channels and everything out there, and there are going to be new social media platforms popping up all the time, and social media is only one avenue. Yeah. So I think if you aren't making progress, keep trying, keep tweaking, but also don't forget there's other things. Like there's so many avenues that you can reach your audience with. Yeah.
Does anyone else have a question? Whoa, this mic is loud.
This is a question, I guess, in relation to Instagram, because it's what I use the most to promote my own brand. How do you personally measure your success on Instagram? Because you can get certain amount of likes for something, like you get a couple of new followers. It's kind of in relation to what you just said, but if that may or may not lead to, let's just say, physical sales or things like that, and in a world where a lot of your audience might be all over the world, they're not there telling you all the time, like, you're great, I'm going to hire you. How do you use Instagram, for example, or social media to, like, how do you kind of make the most of, you know, your 100 likes or your followers?
I think it's hard for me personally. Like, look, I don't want to hit that mute button again. But I judge, well, from my own personal Instagram, not client Instagrams, I judge it based on like new inquiry. If I'm getting new business, I always ask, oh, so how did you find out about us? And, you know, I always want to know where, you know, what happened. Sometimes they just go, I heard about you from blah, blah, and I checked out your Instagram. And then conversations with friends or people I haven't seen for a while, they might say, oh, yeah, I've seen you've been really busy on Instagram. And I think, well, you've been really busy lately. And I think, that's weird. How do you know that? I haven't seen you. You don't like any of my pictures. Like, you know, so people notice, but it's more difficult if they're on the other side of the world. I think so. And also Iconosquare, like, just play around with some of the free tools that are out there and see what you can gauge from that. Because Instagram, as it's a hugely accessible tool. It's great. I'll think about that. I'm going to email you. Yeah.
I'm going to be that person that always answers a question.
I've got something too. Don't sweat it, bro.
Okay, I'll go first because I'm next. No, with Instagram and the way that I use it purely just to check out what someone's doing, and it's like a mini gallery. That's the first thing I look at. I don't want to look at your Redbubble store. I don't want to look at any other store. I'm not going to look at Facebook. I'm just going to quickly look at Instagram and just scroll through images really quickly and get an idea of your personality. If I like someone, like, you know, just ask yourself, if you like what you see on Instagram, do you go back and look up more about that person? Like, I follow these two really gorgeous male twin models, and they're really, really hunky, and I like saw one of their pictures, but as soon as I saw the rest of their profile, and it wasn't just about them being topless going around the world, they do all this charity work. Like, it took me 5 seconds and I made that decision to go and find out more about them, and then look at their website, and then look at their Facebook, and then engage with them on another tool. So to me, like, Instagram's not the be all and end all. It's just sort of like, it's a really easy way to snatch people, like get people in the door, and then that's it. And yeah, Iconosphere, legendary. Find out who your like most active people on Instagram, and then talk to them. Go like, what do you want? Like, what do you like? I stalk people. Like, I wasn't joking. I'm going to stalk some of you guys tonight. Know your audience, but yeah, that's how I use Instagram. I hope that helps.
Temple has a bit of a weird advantage, is that we have a venue as well. So if we're promoting something online, a lot of our followers, I'll put this here, a lot of our followers are based in overseas, guaranteed. We're famous for searching the correct hashtags, liking random photos, follow you, you know, and we've just gotten a lot of followers that way. Our brewery guys handle the Instagram as well. So they have free reign. They post like the album artwork of the song of the album that they're jamming to in the brewery that day, and that sort of just helps overall tie in. Like, we're doing cool beers. We've got real people making the beer. The food's rad. Like, it's a little bit of everything. And sometimes we see that. We know that, you know, if we've seen like a series of photos get over 100 likes in a row, it's like, oh, you know, we might see some of this like back this week through the venue. And the only way for us to really, really measure that is that our staff on the nights at the venue are very much like, so how'd you find out? Like, oh, I haven't seen you before. You from Brunswick? Like, it's like just like really, that's our only real resource is just directly asking people like, how did you find out about us? And working with a company called the Urban List is a very, very, very useful marketing tool for venues. If anybody's involved in a venue, I'll be able to talk more about them. I'm a bit of an ambassador for them as well, unpaid, but I really love their work. Yeah, they're really good. She knows what's up. Here you go. Oh no, you've got your own now.
I have my own. Whoa, that's loud. Any other questions? Nobody? Yes.
I guess when you're posting your own stuff, and I know that there's all sorts of laws all over the place, but how do you deal with copyright? Like, how do you decide, okay, I'm happy to put this up and I'm happy for, it's like, you know, it can go viral and you go, well, is it mine anymore, you know? So, well, how do you deal with that, and do you have any advice, I guess?
I'm a little bit removed from this, but I'm a really big fan of Tumblr. Like, I'm always on Tumblr, and like Tumblr is its own thing. Like, everyone just reposts, and some random photo might get like 1 million reposts, and then every now and again you see the artist or like the person that originally posted that photo. It's like, hey, I didn't get credited for this, but then that gets reposted like another 2 million times. So I feel like it always, personally, just observing that, I feel like it all kind of evens itself out, because people will see through bullshit. Like, I'm close friends with somebody that does a bespoke lingerie brand, and straight away, as soon as it started getting big, she did some shit for like Lady Gaga, like wore a corset in her film clip, and it just blew up. Her personal Instagram's got like 130,000 followers, and now there's all these like pop-up fake brands coming up, like these shitty sort of pentagram corsets made in China, and she needs to, no disrespect to China, but the shit was not as good, nowhere near as good. It was really thick and not as dainty, and like what she'd built, like she'd spent a lot of time communicating that quality, and then people were getting it and being like, oh, I thought I was going to get this, but like, well, where'd you buy it from? Well, not from your store. So they were selling it off as her shit as well. So it was like the ultimate copyright. So it was just, she was just vocal with her customer base, was like, there's some nasties out there. If you're shopping, please stick to these avenues and that sort of thing. But that's just as an observer, not somebody that knows anything about that.
Is your concern people, I guess, reposting your image and not crediting, or copying your designs, or both? Yeah, I think it's rife. Like, it's pretty crazy. There's no with digital. There's no. It's just so hard to police that there's not really a lot of protection, sadly. But that link I put up earlier, maybe I'll put it on my Instagram or something. But that had some information about IP. Like, it was specifically social media for artists, and some info around IP, which is interesting. But I think it's only so much in your control. Like, if you're sending images out to someone, or ask them to credit you, if you see it posted online and someone hasn't credited you, you could DM them and request it. If there's a company that has obviously copied your graphic, you can contact them and just say, look, I just need to, because I've got a friend at a really big company that manufactures stuff, and has in the past been in trouble a lot. And I was really surprised to learn how vigilant they are about now documenting all their designs, because so many people designers have contacted them, suing them for using graphics. So I think companies are getting better. You just have to bring it to their attention and then see, have they just been inspired by similar pictures on the internet? Or if you can prove it, if you want to go down that path, you can contact them directly if it's a big company. Yeah, and politely, and yeah.
As a digital designer, obviously this happens all the friggin' time. Yeah. Like, people use it as inspiration, but it's not really inspiration if you're just copying it. But for me, I just take it with thick skin now. Like, if I'm worth copying, then great. Like, fine, do it. But you're never as true to the concept or the idea or anything like that. You don't know where the process is, and you're better because of it, and they're just copying, and people will find out eventually. Like, it's a small world, and everyone's connected. So, for me, I'm just like, come, we'll get you, it's fine. You want to copy, it's copy. It's all good, And I think just take the positive out of it, that you're worth copying, It's not, doesn't make it right at all, but they'll soon be caught out, and that's kind of where my head is at.
I saw a really good, I don't know the actual quote, but the quote was something like don't stop giving away your ideas. Like, just put them out there. Because if someone takes it and then makes it theirs and makes $1 million, then you'll just come up with something better, like, next time. So that was the thing that, as a creative around the rim of creativity, like, not actually creating anything, that was my thing. It was like, just keep giving away your ideas. Because when I put a jumping castle into a nightclub for the first time. Yeah, I guess so. That's a real polite way to put it. Yeah, selling. Yeah, you can try sell it. But yeah, as soon as we started doing shit like putting jumping castles in those nightclubs, for example, we'd see this other club be like, jumping castle, we did it first. It's like, what? But I know that, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's not worth it. Like, it's people will find out that other people, well, people will figure out that person sucks eventually. So.
Dominic, as a Redbubble artist, what would your advice be for someone that's maybe been on Redbubble a while, and okay, time to get an audience to start making a profit through it, rather than just a hobby? What would your first 3 things to get an audience? What would you do?
That's the question. I don't know. No, I didn't mute it. I would first engage back with people, just engage in general. A lot of artists come to a place like Redbubble, and there's many others, and think just putting your work up is going to do all the work for you, and then that's it. You'll get famous and you'll get an audience. It definitely doesn't work. Not often. So engage with other people, coming to talks like this. Every time I'm at an event like this, I get new followers, I get new people posting, I get people interested. I hope some of you want to come up and talk to me afterwards. I'm not very scary, but I think the same thing applies for when you're online. You're already in a world of digital, and it's not very personal, and you're not face to face with somebody. So, I would ask, how many people have you followed, and how many works have you favorited, and how many works have you commented on Redbubble? And quite often, it's pretty low. And I would say, well, why would someone favorite or follow your work if you haven't done the same? So, I can show you the data if you really want to see it, but that Domidat shop that I put up there with all my crap from high school and my Equal Love stuff, which, by the way, I spoke to Equal Love people and the General Counsel. He and I are on really good terms about using his work. Yeah, no, I do. I used that as a testing ground, and I just spent a week going and following new people and commenting on work and favoriting their work, and not just for the sake of it, like legitimately spending an hour going, I love what you're doing. I want to be able to do that. How did you do that? And using Bubble Mail and contacting them. And instantly you started to get an audience. I got people following me back, commenting on my work. So I'd start with that. That's number 1. Number 2. A mistake that I made, again, with that same store was I just put everything up. Every single thing I'd ever done, and thought it's going to be awesome. No, don't, pick and choose what you're really super proud of, and don't be afraid to take stuff down. Like, I've got stuff on there that's just never gotten views and no one's ever going to buy it. So just take it down, get rid of it, start again, I think don't be precious about what it is that you're doing. You've got to keep fresh. Again, insanity. Don't keep doing the same thing over and over again, and if it's not working for you. So, I change my collections. I take off work that hasn't sold because it's not selling. I've tried, it's not selling. People don't want to buy what I made in high school. Fine. Start something fresh and do something fresh. So I'd say, yeah, keep that going. Don't stay stagnant. Oh, I've got to come up with a third. No, I think don't be afraid of things like, Google Analytics. Have you set up Google Analytics? And not just that specific tool, but there's lots of tools out there where you can really start to get to know your audience. And it's not rocket science. If I can do it, trust me, pretty much anybody can do it. I would try and get offline. I'd either start using tools like Google Analytics and really try and just focus in or hone in on someone or some country or something, some time of the day, or I would completely get offline and go to markets. That's the next thing that I'm focusing on. And I'm using a place like Redbubble as just a wholesaler where I just buy everything at base price. I can tell you the products that you're going to get cheaper at Redbubble than anywhere else. Officeworks for the best quality. And go to a market, like go to Supergraph, go, you know, have a kit with you here and go to talks and have some stuff to share. Get offline. Like, I think engaging with the local market is really important. It's nice if you can reach Japan and you can reach America all the way from Australia, but like Melbourne's a really cool city, and something that I'm really hoping to focus on in the next few years is setting up a market and selling my stuff locally, and then having something like Redbubble Online as a part of your arsenal. There's lots out there on multiple levels, and I'm sure your art speaks more than just on Redbubble. And you know, does that help? Sorry, I could list on forever because you know I'd speak all day long to artists that ask that exact question.
Now that Bank of Melbourne has announced that, you know, we are the makers in Melbourne, I don't work for Bank of Melbourne, so don't worry, I'm not trying to pitch them or anything. I think, you know, at the moment there seems to be something that you guys will tap into, which is that in marketing there's a general trend that to connect with people, being interactive with a brand, and particularly a lot of that seems to come through people's creativity and the things that they do. How important do you think that is? And no, more importantly, why do you think that is?
I think about this a lot, and I also think because I started my business and I started working in marketing before MySpace, before Facebook even, like it makes me feel really old to say that, but I feel like I can see before and after. And I think now you need to stand out on the internet. There's so much noise. You need to have really good visuals. So I think the world is becoming more visual because the images need to be visual and they need to be good to stand out. So that's one reason. And two, I think engaging with people and brands and all that stuff's really important. But I think the digital world is just another tool for you. Like, nothing beats grassroots. And I guess the internet can be grassroots too, but like nothing beats like working out who your audience, like working out who your customers are and really speaking to them, being really authentic and true to yourself. Like, there's no point in trying to emulate what Coke are doing or someone that doesn't even speak to your audience. If you're based in Castlemaine, let's say, you know, and there's no point probably in pretending that you're based in the city, and, you know, if your products don't speak to those people, you know, just figure out who is your customer, like who do you want to speak to, who represents, what are your values, and really like nut that out. And where do they hang out? You know, do they hang out at the farmer's market? Like, have a stall there. Just be true to yourself. Am I rambling? Does that even make sense? Does that answer the question? Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I think I struggled with this a lot. I guess as a digital designer, you're always on. You're always thinking about the brand and trying to make your creativity commercial all the time. And for me, it's just about analysing who you are, like, and what you actually believe in. Because when you talk to other people, like what I've found is like when you find other people that believe in the same stuff as you, it's like better than anything, because you speak the same language, you believe in the same things, and that's more powerful than anything you can do, right? Like, if you're talking superficially to an audience, they're gonna find out and they don't care. It's just all noise. Like, if they find someone that they can connect with on a human level, that's like awesome. That's what it should be about. And I guess for me, digital, like, yeah, it gives you a lot of opportunities, but use those opportunities to voice your own thoughts and opinions, not what you think other people want to hear, because that's what everyone else is doing, and no one can do what you do better than yourself. And that's kind of a hard lesson I've learned, that, you know, I shouldn't just do all the trends that Google are doing or the trends that, you know, Apple are producing with the latest apps, and I should just try and be myself and develop my own style as a designer. So that's, yeah, my 2 cents.
You talk so well.
I'll say one quick thing. To me, brand is just about authenticity. Like, it should just reflect you. Brand should reflect you, and that's why I said in my talk, you're selling yourself, your story. So to me, it's just about authenticity. And if you are authentic in your brand, you will sell better than anything else you could possibly think of. Your version of Coca-Cola is not going to be that good. So
I would also back that. Just believe in what you're selling and make sure that what everyone's agreed upon at the ground level, because I didn't start Temple. I came into it sort of understanding what they wanted to achieve and then sort of restructuring. I'm talking directly about work because I'm not as cool as these guys. But like it was very much like you just understand that brand message and continue to, like we had a 45-minute discussion today whether this hat was the right hat for us to produce as a merchandise item. I think it's sick, but the director, it doesn't look good on his head. And we had a 45-minute discussion about that. Whereas I think that like this hat appeals to beer nerds, and it also appeals to the common man. And it's a classic hat shape that everyone is used to seeing. So like I know that sounds ridiculous, but this just happened yesterday. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. That was pretty funny. Thanks.
It's about knowing your market, essentially.
Yeah. And what looks good on your head.
That too. On that note, I just want to say thank you to everyone. And I'm going to have a quick contest. Without looking, what is the name of the game that is located in this room that made by Mel? Quick, yell it out. Who yelled it first? Did you say it first? All right, here you go. You get a $100 gift coupon.
Holy shit, round of applause for the winner.
Yeah,
That's sick.
So, and just a massive thank you to you guys. Make sure to chat afterwards, grab some beers, have some cheese, and thank you.
Thank you.